Time now, though, to talk about Boeing. New developments in the Boeing 737 MAX jet situation almost every week now. The latest, that the jets might get delayed even further. According to the Wall Street Journal, regulators from the US, Europe, and Brazil had a briefing with Boeing in August and cut that meeting short when Boeing was unable to adequately answer questions about modifications to the 737 MAX. Now, most recently, you'll remember that Boeing had said it expects certification of the jets in October, but now American and United have both extended their cancellations of 737 MAX flights until December. Yahoo Finance's Alexis Keenan here with more. Hi, Alexis.
Hi, good morning.
So what's the latest? And it's hard not to get sort of very cynical about this story the more we discuss it, which is already weeks ago I was saying there's no way that these things are up in the air in the year 2019.
It's looking like that, though Boeing is maintaining that they are still on course for hopefully fourth quarter of this year. And let's just hear what Boeing has to say first. They say our best current estimate continues to be a return to service of the MAX that begins early in the fourth quarter. So I say, what is that? October, perhaps. Our focus is on safety and ensuring the trust and confidence of customers, regulators, and the flying public. Timing on return to service will be driven by the FAA and global regulators. So they're sticking with that today. These regulators, though, globally, this meeting that the Wall Street Journal is reporting on is said to have broken down based on Boeing not coming to the table with some of the descriptions of how they're going to handle these flight control modifications. They said they were not satisfied with the details. So that puts Boeing back to the drawing board a bit. They have to resubmit. However, I will say that Boeing has always maintained that they will submit their final reapplication in September. So there's still time, and it doesn't come as a huge surprise that things maybe broke down a bit.
Well, and whether the planes get back in the air this year or early next year, I mean, I don't think the public is ready to get back on one of these planes. Or maybe I'm wrong. Maybe people don't care so much.
You're right. There are a couple of studies that have already been done showing that consumer sentiment and confidence in getting back on these planes is not necessarily so high.
And that's of the consumers that even know, because as we chatted about, there's so many people that have no idea why their planes or why their flights are canceled or delayed. They just know, well, it's not working. It's just another airport problem or airline problem. So it's really interesting to see like how they actually get hit as a result of this from the consumer perspective.
Yeah, and also I wanted to take a look at, because in my own mind I was trying to figure out, well, how are things mounting up here for Boeing? Because we all talk so consistently every time this story comes up about how that stock price just kind of hangs in there. So right now, here's how things look, and this is what I'm calling headwinds for Boeing. Some of them are liabilities. Some of them maybe don't rise to the level of calling it liability. But first, you have the victims' families' claims, and Bloomberg has an estimated litigation liability for Boeing that's set right now at about $1 billion. You also have that fund that Boeing established for the victims' families that over time is supposed to roll out about $100 million for these families. You then have the grounded delivered aircraft, right? Those are the customers that have possession of their aircraft that can't do anything with them right now. So it's sort of a business interruption problem for these customers. And Boeing has set aside that, at least so far, that $4.9 billion that they had in their second quarter to compensate their customers. You then go on and have actual canceled contracts for purchases of these 737 MAXs that were supposed to happen. And when I add it up right now between Indonesia Airlines, Flyadeal, the Saudi Arabian-owned airline, and this lawsuit now that's from Avia, a Russian leasing company, it comes to almost $46 billion, 45.8. And those, I don't know that those contracts are fully canceled yet, but that's, another big one there. You then have just the postponed deliveries for the customers that still will take delivery of their aircraft. You have inquiries by the Justice Department, inquiries by the SEC as to whether Boeing was honest with shareholders, as well as pilot class actions and congressional hearings. So that's a lot going on.
Yeah, I know. Just add it up.
For a very important company. I mean, we can't sort of underestimate the power of Boeing and the importance of it for the American economy. I mean, we've even seen economists come out and say, oh, the lack of 737 MAX deliveries and production could shave off a small percentage of GDP.
Too big to fail.
Yeah.
In a sense.
We'll see.
In a sense.
All right. Thanks, Alexis.
Yes, you bet.